Welcome. As people who know me off Twitter, people who have seen the photos I post, people who have heard me talk ever, probably already know I quite like going to racetracks. I like being in the environment, I like seeing the cars, I like seeing the teams hustle and bustle, in the support paddocks trying to prepare the cars ready to go out again. Just people at work and being around it all, really. And as of this weekend, which is the 11th and the 12th of July, racing is back starting domestically in the UK. So I get to go to a racetrack again. Having said that, obviously there's the same limitations there as there are with other things. So a quick look at MSV's list of things of what we can and can't do there. Obviously safety and visitors and that stuff is priority. Until at least the end of July, there's no camping or anything on sites for visitors. Must not attend if they're displaying any symptoms of COVID, which can't make sense. Obviously, just carrying out usual social distancing measures. Limited capacity at the circuits, but I'll be honest with you, I'm going to the MSV Championship thing, so I don't think it's going to be jammed to the rafters, but people like me could be missing it, so I could be wrong, and they could be doing it. Social, grandstands may or may not be in use, and if they are, they're going to have gaps to ensure that people aren't sitting too close. Public access to all working areas. Now, this is the big one for me anyway, because I love seeing all this stuff and how it works. Paddocks, pit lanes, garages and stuff, no access to the public there. Now, whether it means they're just going to be curtailed off and you can have a look round them, sort of down to see what's happening or what have you, and whether you can still sort of see into the garages for, say, the Formula 3 support, Formula 3 Cup support and all the other ones. So you can see people working on them, you just can't get too close, I don't know, or whether it's just going to be roped off entirely. This is going to be part of the fun of finding out, I suppose. Walkways may have one-way systems and stuff in place to ensure social distancing, fine, fair enough. And some facilities might not be open, like possibly the playground, which is going to annoy the hell out of Ayrton. But, it is what it is. With any luck, it won't rain and the grass verges will be fine and he can run around to his heart's content. Other things on there going on, like for the restaurants, for example, it's going to primarily be a takeaway thing. Payment on there, contactless, same as they encourage in a lot of shops and stuff at the moment. Hygiene screens at the counters, so people buying perspex. And hand sanitizer dispensers being around the site, which is all pretty standard at the moment. Also have some of the competitors' advice. Now, I am clearly not a competitor, I am not a car, I am not a team in and of myself, but I managed to get hold of it, so I thought I'd have a look just to see what the guys who are racing, some of the things they've got to take into account. So all signing on for the event is now going to be taking place online, which is interesting. In terms of venue restrictions, pass numbers will initially be limited to assist with social distancing requirements, so not loads of guests hanging around. Paddock will be closed to non-essential personnel, so again, not too many guests hanging around. Garage doors should remain open front and back when the garage is occupied, presumably to allow flow of people in and out without having to fit through narrow doorways and stuff, again helping with distancing. No podium ceremonies. This is quite a big one, obviously, because even in smaller race events they still have their podiums. So no gathering of people to watch it more than anything else. So I don't know what they're going to arrange or do there, but may or may not find out, I guess. We'll see. So obviously different venues have different sizes of areas and whatever else as well, so they've basically sort of said that the tracks and the venues may need to tailor certain things depending on their own capabilities. Additional considerations for teams. Teams must consider bringing the minimum number of people, so they might not be as fully equipped. At bigger events where you've got bigger things like British GT or touring car or whatever else, they might have to reduce the number of people they have present at them. Teams are recommended to bring their own first aid kits so that not so much of a strain or not so many people potentially in the first aid things supplied by the racetrack. Teams should bring adequate PPE for all personnel, so it's all pretty standard fare really considering at the moment. And do not visit the medical centre if you suspect you have COVID-19 symptoms, which kind of goes without saying. If you begin to feel unwell during the event, notify the organisers and leave the venue in line with government guidance, which is pretty consistent with any sort of working environment at the moment. I know that's kind of the rules of my place, is that, you know, if you're suspected, you get out. So, with all those things in mind, next step is just to go to the track and see how it looks in practice. So, let's find out how that works. Well, arriving at Snetterton, let's see what restrictions or what have you they have in terms of entry. Have the tickets in place, have them in hand. So, exactly. Welcome to Snetterton. So,
that's kind of like an excavator.
COVID secure venue. It's the sign there, so we'll see what that says. So, return home immediately if you have any of these symptoms: high temperature, new continuous cough. I'll also change your sense of smell or taste. And do not visit the Circuit Medical Centre. So, all pretty much as it said in the instructions.
What about the playground?
I think that might be off limits, my man. We'll have to have a look.
There's only one way to find out.
There is. So, ticket scanned at the entrance. No ability to buy tickets on the gate. You have to buy in advance. So, we are now arriving at the circuit. So there's actually more people than I thought there would be. Right, so I don't know how well you can see this, but shortly after I made the video intro talking about access the other day, got an email with a map for areas we can't go into. Now, this area here, basically the paddock area, but the problem is, because of its positioning along the straight between Parma and Agostini, it means you can't get to the viewing area over here, so you can't see about a third of the access to it. Literally, this is the paddock area, and you've got a viewing platform there at Agostini, and normally you'd be able to walk along here to get to another one up here, but you can't, and the restaurant is there, which you can't get to. The play area there, which we knew was probably going to be off limits anyway, but you can't get to. So we do have burger vans and ice cream vans and other stuff down this way to have things from. And obviously we've got packed lunch ourselves, so we're okay for food and stuff. But yeah, so we'll have a look and see what the limits are like down the other end, and whether anyone's going through that way or whether there is another route up to that, but it's not looking likely at the minute. Not sure what I was expecting here today. It's actually significantly busier than I thought it would be. But I guess there's a lot of people that just missing racing. So, fencing in place up here across the road. There was someone on the guard of it earlier to stop people who weren't authorised going through. The curiosity thing is like about a third of the track up there that you can't see from down this end, and one of the main points for watching the racetrack is down there, as is the main restaurant for the track and one of the toilet blocks and the play area, which obviously I think is going to be out of bounds today. But I'm wondering if there's actually a way through to getting to it. So we'll have an ask. The paddock area, sorry. The spectator area at the top end and the toilets and restaurant down there, are they off limits today?
Off limits, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if there was any other way round to get to them. That was
No,
all.
they were off limits.
Okay, no, fair enough. Right, come on, Nathan, we've got to go over that way. Well, you can still see the prep area for where the support series and whatever are getting ready to go on track, but you can't get round properly to that area, which we kind of knew anyway, but can't be helped. So obviously reminders of this stuff everywhere.
They're actually visible behind barriers. There's also people already making their way around the
Usual rules apply, and the sign reminding people. Right, so conclusions that we can make from going to Snetterton then. If you're a paddock hound like me, then you're going to have to manage your expectations, because obviously there's reasons why you can't go in the paddock areas. But for the most part we go to racing to enjoy the racing, to see the cars and stuff, and obviously you can still do that, and that's what the majority of people will be doing anyway. So if you're wanting or thinking about going to races, there is no reason from that point of view not to go to it. You'll still see the cars, you'll still be with people you care about, you'll still have a good time. The big problem's going to be coming at the bigger events, because notes from the notes, you had things like hand sanitizer. I didn't see so much of that around. Perspex screens and stuff in the restaurants. Well, you couldn't get to the restaurant at Snetterton, so you were relying on vans and ice cream vans and things, and putting Perspex screens on them is not so easy. So there's a lot of stuff that could still be slightly better. While the crowds there were bigger than I was expecting, obviously, it was still small enough to do social distancing at an event like that. But obviously, when you get to bigger things like the British Touring Car, British GT, British F3, the crowds for them are going to be much, much bigger. And especially with Snetterton having lost the spectator area at the far end, it's going to be quite congested there, and social distancing is going to be kind of hard. Brands Hatch, anyone who's been to Brands Hatch, for example, Paddock Hill Bend, social distancing on there during British touring car, it's going to be tricky. So there's a lot of work and a lot of details that need to be looked at. I mean, I don't know how people feel about masks, but certainly at busier events, that and bringing some sanitizer with you could be a basic idea. But in terms of going, obviously you get to see cars, you get to spend time with people you care about, and if the weather's nice, just have a nice chilled day. So I recommend going. Anyway, thank you for watching, and bye bye for now.